Welcome, and welcome to our first call. And how we always begin is taking a breath and centering. And I know even for some of you, it's the middle of the night in Italy. Got to stay awake, get the coffee. But I just like to play a little rhythm. You can join me if you'd like. Yes, even in Florida, you can have your coffee, right? And I know we have a number of people joining from their phones. We'll find out who that is in a minute. So just take a breath and take a moment and think about your intention of what it is you came to learn in this course. What drew you to this program? And just imagine that we're all in one room. We kind of are in a Zoom room, sitting around a table, getting a chance to meet each other and be in this journey together. Really happens best in the tribe, in the support of the community. So welcome. So I want to find out for a moment who's calling from 303 area code.
Sue Tegman.
Okay, good. Sue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put your name on your number. And then I got also somebody else calling from an iPhone. No? Okay. Well, that's pretty good. I got everybody labeled. All right, so I'm recording this call so that you'll always have a recording of it, which is great. So you can always reference it, come back to it, learn from it. And also I have the handout that I sent you. I just sent you all the segments all in one big handout. Oh, you're from Kentucky, but originally from Argentina. Okay, got it. Thank you, Liliana. Gracias. So I'm going to start today's call with a PowerPoint, just a couple of slides that give you a sense of why we're in this process together. Okay, so let me pull up the PowerPoint and screen share. And if you're not seeing the screen because you're calling in, that's okay. I'm going to send this PowerPoint to everybody later, and it's only 8 slides, so it's not too bad. But it is great to see the video later because you'll be able to watch these slides later as well. Okay, so everybody seeing these slides? So the first thing is, this work is a hero's journey. It has been a hard journey for me at times where I just wanted to throw it all over, the board and just go work for someone. But the benefits so outweigh the moments of struggle. And I'm going to give you those tools really that helps you get over those dragons. Joseph Campbell says that when you follow your bliss, 4 things will happen. Joseph Campbell studied the hero's journey. He created this idea of the hero's journey from understanding different cross-cultural mythology paths of this hero. And the hero, which is you, by doing what you love. I always say self-employment is the biggest personal growth workshop ever created. So number 1, you put yourself on the path of luck. So just say that out loud, I'm on the path of luck. And you can probably even right now think of a time you've been lucky. Like something just worked out. You've probably already had a moment of luck on this path because following your bliss. The second thing is you meet the people you're supposed to meet. And I have a picture of me meeting Dr. Andrew Weil, who was on the cover of Time magazine as Doctor of the Year. Dr. Andrew Weil endorsed my healing drum kit because I bumped into him in Hollywood at a drum circle. Think about if there's ever been a person you were supposed to meet that you bumped into or that somehow came into your path. And if you can have that frame of consciousness, any event you're leading, you're like, oh, I might be meeting someone I'm supposed to meet today. The third thing that happens is doors open for you that don't open for anyone else. Isn't that the truth? Think about a time when everyone said, oh, you can't do it there. And somehow you did. I remember being told, you'll never be able to do drum circles at a hospital. And within a week, a hospital called with a healthy kids program. And they were looking for me to drive to each trailer park community center, bringing them healthy snacks and leading drum circles. So I would go to the hospital, load my car with healthy snacks for the kids, and drive over to these trailer parks where the kids were alone after school before the parents came home from work. That was a grant. Nobody had in the grant written drum circle, right? They just had a grant for healthy programming for children. So one of the things that happens is we don't often see our work in a job ad. We have to be really creative about how we call our programs, right? So doors open for you that don't open for anyone else. And the last thing is that doors appear where there were no doors before. Has that ever happened to you? Suddenly there's a path made. Somehow there's an opportunity that you didn't think there would be. So I always like to begin with those 4 principles because it changes our consciousness to realize that we're on the path of luck because you're following your bliss. This is a universal principle in mythology of all different cultures. You're on the path of luck. You'll meet the people you're supposed to meet. Doors will open for you that don't open for anyone else. And doors will appear where there were no doors before because now you're new. We tend to think about, oh, but if I've already tried that before, but a year later is so different. No, I haven't sent the PowerPoint, but I did send the handout for today. Did you get that, Mark? The handout for today? Let me check with Mark. Did you get the handout for today?
Now I did.
Okay.
I just checked it.
Okay, perfect. So today we're doing smart language, keywords to communicate your work. And I always put a slogan, and the slogan for today is subtraction is the new expansion. So what do I mean by that? Less is more. Less is more. One of the big problems I see a lot of people doing is they put all their training letters after their name. Well, I'm a Reiki practitioner 1, a healing touch educator, a Radiant Sutra meditation teacher. Does this sound familiar? Because a lot of us have created something that's a combination of a lot of different skills, right? Or trainings. So less is more. But the challenge is, how do we talk about what we do in a way that's succinct and communicates the benefits? Is this making sense? So the first thing is lasered language. And what we're going to do on the call today is I'm going to give you some training, and then we're actually going to get into breakout rooms, and you're going to practice introducing yourself to another person from our group. Now, we only have 15 people in our group. It's a nice small group. We might have one more person joining because then we'll have partners, even number. So I asked for that to happen. But the great thing about this is I want to teach you how do we like talk about what we do? How do I introduce myself? What do I say about what I do? Anybody know what I mean? And then there's also the lasered communication of Marketing. How do I talk about what I do? So there's an important thing in the field called buzzwords. No one knows what I do exactly, right? Buzzwords. So the first thing we're going to work on is buzzwords. There's a reason they call it buzzwords. They have a buzz to them. What are some of the buzzwords in your field today? Can you put them in the chat bar? Like, people working in schools are really in the buzzword of resilience, anti-bullying. People who are in spirituality and wellness, some of the buzzwords are personal growth, healing, self-care, burnout reduction, stress management, right? These are all therapeutic. Great. Stress reduction. I'm not sure what building the business case means. Let me ask you, Megan. That I'm not as familiar with. Megan, what's building the business case mean? Go ahead.
This is Megan, by the way. Hi. Building the business case is, we work with employers. So, and when they are, we try to have them look at the business case for hiring people with disabilities. So oftentimes employers are nervous or afraid or don't know what they don't know about hiring people with disabilities. So there needs to be a business case behind the curtain so that they know the real reasons that they should be doing these kinds of things. So in my world, that's the word, building the business case.
Good. I learned something. Thank you.
Sure.
So immediately what I thought about while she was talking is building. That's what grabbed my ears. Building the business case. Because you could then make that a metaphor of building a rhythm or building a fill in the blank. So I love to find words that go from the buzzword to my modality. And you all use different modalities, but I think the common denominator on this call is that we all do work that we're not going to just get a job ad for, right? It's self-generating, which requires some marketing. And you can't teach you marketing till we get to learn how to say what we do. Because the words are it. And subtraction is the new expansion. So building the business case, nice and tight word. Stress reduction, rooted. Ooh, grounded, stabilization, and centered. Sound healing is a great one. Thank you, Liliana. Big buzzword. Sound healing. Connected and grounded. Grounding. Grounding. I didn't realize grounding was such a big buzzword. Grounding. So the other buzzword relative to that, Jens, is embodied. Like, why do I know that? I research buzzwords. So I went to the Shift Network homepage and I saw the categories of the courses. And I went, oh, they're calling this category embodied practice. Wow. Buzzword. Okay. So when we see that, of course, my work fits into that embodied practice. You can add grounding to that. Yeah, Carol, honoring. I think community building is like an eternally buzzword. Camaraderie, connection. Okay, what I like about what Mark put is there's 3 C's. And one other thing that we're going to practice today is the law of 3. The law of 3 benefits. So subtraction. See, Mark, we're on the same wavelength. Subtraction is the new expansion. So 3 benefits, not 10, not 200. I mean, one problem that happens is people get talking about themselves, especially in the work we do, and we start getting really like, we have to say everything we've ever done. Anybody relate to this? So 3 benefits. Benefit of this drumming program for the children in the Healthy Kids Club is that it uses an evidence-based protocol. That's a big buzzword, evidence-based. Secondly, it's accessible and everyone can do it. It's accessible no matter any level of ability and any age. And number three, it's helps build community, which helps reduce violence and at-risk behaviors. So I'm talking from one of the hats I wear, which is kind of the music therapy side of me. But it's good that I said three, right? Didn't you feel full? So sometimes I say drum circles are the three E's: evidence-based, empowering, and energizing. So the three C's is a great idea: community, camaraderie, and connection. Although camaraderie and community are a little bit similar. We might want to actually think about this: connection, camaraderie, and community. They're beautiful, but they're really kind of saying the same thing. But you could say connection to yourself, to source, community connecting to each other, and camaraderie, the spirit of kindness and compassion. You know, that might be another angle. So let's take Mark as I don't use inner child anymore. There's the danger when a buzzword becomes cliche. You know what I mean? And usually it's because some comedian did a skit about it, and then it's no longer cool. What other words? Honoring, Carol, you'd have to say more about that. But you guys are getting the ideas. Recreation and wellness, exactly. And actually for you, gents, in Europe, in England, there's this huge movement where they're talking about medically subscribing drumming, singing, and dancing lessons. So the Ministry of Health is talking about that. So that's going to create a real buzz around wellness. Sound wellness. Service, great. That's a great one. So you guys are getting my thought. How do you find your buzzwords? Well, you go to your target. Mindfulness. Oh, I'm so glad you wrote that. Mindfulness. Here's an example of how meditation got a rebrand. It used to be meditation, but now it's called medically based mindfulness, right? Just the shift from meditation to mindfulness. That's a classic case of buzzword success, because we got out of thinking all the negative thoughts that go to meditation. I don't want to convert to Hinduism. I don't want to be a Swami. I don't want to have a guru. Like, all the negatives that were barriers got eliminated by titling it mindfulness. So mindfulness is definitely a buzzword in wellness. So Carol's saying honoring milestones in our lives, creating sacred space for people to honor life's passages. Right. I went to your website. It's really nice. It's the Acorn to Oak, right? I think that's you. And I'm going to have you all send me your website email, your address in a next email, so that I can really make a grid about who's on what, URL. So it helps me to really dive more deeply into each of you and know what you do. But even Carol, we could edit this a little. So if I was Carol, I would take a minute and I would Google and start to update my buzzwords. So sacred space, passages, milestones, celebrating. These are all great buzzwords for you to know what's new in your business and what's new in the more common language in the general public. Because one of the big problems in keywords to communicate your work is we tend to talk in the language, the inner language, the in-tribe language, but we're talking to a general public. And we're like, you get the groove, and then it changes your biology. And the general public is like, what's the groove? So we need to learn these benefit buzzwords. And I think there's something more for you to research around these milestones and life's transitions. I think transitions is another big word. Yeah, I think there's something even more deep for you to find in this. So keep looking. How do we find these, right? Mind-body connection, always a great one. So how do we find buzzwords? So you first go to the industry you're reaching. So keep going to Mark because it's a nice clean example. I want to do drum circles in yoga studios. So you go to the yoga studio world and you get the magazines. You subscribe to Yoga Journal. You go to a yoga studio. Look at the style of the posters. Yes, the muggles, exactly. And so what you do is you go to that place, you look into that industry. So when I started doing diversity training, first thing I did is I Googled diversity training conference and I went to the conference. And I just sat there getting inundated because I'm more of a people person. If you're not an extrovert and you're more introverted, just Google these things and you can probably find a TED Talk on it. TED Talks is great because it's really current. What would happen if you Googled TED Talk life transitions? So that tends to be the cutting edge, or a blog because they tend to be more cutting edge, right? So when you look into this yoga studio and you start to Google yoga drumming, you see what comes up. You start to see the buzzwords. Then take off drumming, yoga, music, kirtan, devotion. See how I'm getting you guys to think? Is everybody following me? Yes or yes? Okay, good. You start to get the hang of finding buzzwords. We find them. And then we incorporate them in our communication. What's great about buzzwords, meditation's a great example versus mindfulness, is I can really use that to my advantage. I don't teach meditation, I teach mindfulness. Or, you know, we can use that in our advantage. It's not a hippie drum circle. It's an evidence-based rhythm protocol for wellness in mind, body, and spirit. Why do we love mind, body, spirit? It's a three benefits. Amazing, huh? So everybody take a breath. So just to review, we're talking about smart language, how to communicate your work, and that less is more. And that buzzwords are found in the land, the ground of where your target audience is. And you may find that you have 2 or 3 languages of what you do because you work in wellness, and then you work in this life transition world, and then you work in this coaching businesses with developmental disability, employee, whatever it is, this building your business. So you have all these, building the business case. So you have all these kind of languages you start to develop. We always wish it could just be one thing, right? When we're self-employed, like, I just want one that fits everything. Let that go. Because the hero's journey, if you're in one cave, you need one tool. If you're in one cave, you need a different tool. So your tools are going to change by the landscape of your adventure. Yeah. So buzzwords is what we're talking about. Here's some of them that I like. Engaging, participatory. It's not sit and get workshop. So again, saying what it's not is actually a buzzword. This is not a drum lesson. I don't do funerals and memorials. I help people honor the life transition through sacred ceremony, right? So saying what it's not helps us make the platform for what it is. A few more: experiential, motivational, team building, relationship building, conflict resolution. Check this out: conflict evolution. That's a new buzzword that I just found in the diversity training. Conflict evolution. Collaboration, cost saving, economical, always going to be a buzzword. Evidence-based, right? So what we are looking for is credibility. We're looking for credibility. To establish yourself as an expert, to establish yourself as credible. Because sometimes the work we do is hard to explain and it falls into the category of woo-woo. I don't know if you have that in Italy. We have woo-woo in America. It means like weird. Okay, you have that. Yeah, weird. It's just one of those undocumented weird things you do over there, right? So we want to get away from that, overcompensate. So one thing I say when I'm speaking about peace building is I begin with, this is not just kumbaya. Because it's everybody's worst stereotype of me. Oh, you just think you can go sing in a war zone and everybody's going to love each other? This is not kumbaya, hippie, granola, sing and everything's fine. This is a tool that is empowering and co-creative of different language groups and cultures, regardless of language and ethnicity, using music to find common unity. So those are just some examples. The trick about buzzwords is you need to be able to say the benefits with the buzzwords, right? The other problem we have is we tend to go on and on and on about our skill and not our personal skill, but like the tool we use. So I coach somebody who does soul collage. Anybody heard of that? Soul collage, it's like vision boards. And it's a beautiful program and you get certified in it, you know? So she was a certified soul collage practitioner, you know, and we're living in this very interesting time on the planet where all these new jobs are emerging. Like Curtis Bird is a fitness drummer. I mean, check that out. He's making a living drumming in fitness clubs and at fitness conferences. These new doors are opening where there were no doors before. So when she had this soul collage business, I kept saying, but what's the benefit? All you do is tell me about how you make a soul collage. That doesn't help sell it. I want to know the benefit first. Start with the need, go to the benefit. So that's probably the most golden thing I can teach you from today, is the need and the benefit. When you start with the need, people are listening. Are you experiencing stress? Are you experiencing stress to the degree that it's affecting your body? It's affecting your life outside of work. I'd like to introduce you to a new workplace wellness program, big buzzword, called Reviving Rhythms. This is an evidence-based program that helps reduce burnout, build camaraderie, and improve productivity. 3 things. I'm Christine Stevens. I'm a board certified music therapist and I'm trained in, list a couple things you're trained in. I had a full career as a blank, and then I found my passion of bringing rhythm into workplaces where people are stressed or spending too much time on screen. This program here, there's another buzzword, screen time. This program helps people get off screen and into communication and connection with their colleagues. I'd like to offer you a free demonstration of it at no charge for up to 20 participants for 1 hour. Okay, that was me demonstrating B, which should be C, ABC. I got that out out of rhythm, but C is about you. We call it the ETR, earn the right. Just remember that. That's a great thing to remember. I learned that from T. Harv Eker. Earned the right. This is the moment. After you've said the needs and the benefits, now you say who you are. And you put your credentials first. I'm a music therapist and social worker. I have 2 master's degrees. Whatever you have a degree in, don't tell me it doesn't count even though it's from financing. Doesn't matter. I have a BA in financing. So I coached this guy who was an attorney who started a company of drum circles. And I said, you've got a great opening line. I let go of the law because I discovered the law of rhythm. I left my job as a lawyer to discover the law of rhythm. That's a perfect in. Right? I was coaching a woman who's also an attorney who's now a coach for women's spirituality. Same thing. I said, you can use that as with a successful career in law. She now discovered the law of supporting people in their spiritual path. Yes, absolutely. You have a degree in our advertising, great. I have a BA from fill in the blank. You don't have to always say advertising. I have a BA degree from Michigan State University, and I have been trained as a facilitator in this tool because I have a passion for helping people in the workplace, because we spend 8 hours of our day there. When we make the workplace a better place, it increases productivity, it creates happier employees, and it's the one place where people have to sit together. So it takes lemons and makes lemonade. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Yeah, last example. And then we're gonna do our introducing ourselves practice. Last example, I have a friend, a colleague, Ping Ho. She created a company called UCLA Arts and Healing. So she, for 4 years, was working in this field of after-school programs, helping kids in schools with a Beat the Odds program. And literally one day she came up with her own buzzword: social emotional arts. So she said, I got it because it's not academic. My goal is not academic skills, although those are a benefit. My goal is the socializing, the emotional regulation of children in schools through the arts. And now, from what she birthed, it took about 5 years with some marketing, and I'll teach you marketing. In 5 years, there are now social emotional arts conferences. So her buzzword is catching fire, because we had a lot about resilience and anti-bullying, but nobody had really, in 3 words, said how the arts can help kids in school settings. Lasered, focused, benefit-driven. No, I'm gonna write those down. Lasered, focused, benefit-driven. It's a task, you know, but let's practice, okay? Before we open it up for practicing, let me unmute you guys, see if there's any questions. Are there any questions about what I presented? Also, if you're sitting by a blender, please mute yourself. If somebody's over by a blender.
I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay, you can click on mute. Oh, I know what's happening. Checking. No, I'm getting a little bit of an audio feedback. Okay, here's how we'll do it. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, you can unmute yourself, but if you're at the phone, you press *6. Is it *9? Let me check. Let me check real quick. Zoom, unmute. Phone. I thought it was *9. *6. Okay, *6. Okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments? No questions or comments? Right on. Okay, so let's start. Yay, everybody's good. Everybody's together. Yeah. Yep. This is good. I'm liking your feedback. Explaining the benefits. So we start with the need, number one. We go to the benefit, and we end with who you are. Each of these steps is, I know, yeah, it's challenging to do these steps. Okay, great. Patricia says, I need more work on bio or credentials. A pieno ritmo. What does that mean?
The full rhythm. I'm muted, I think. No.
What does it mean?
Go with full rhythm. A pieno is full. Pieno. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Pieno means full.
Love it.
That's
That's the name of your company?
No.
I think you should maybe take that name. A pieno ritmo is beautiful.
No, it's just I always say it after when I do something events with people or so, or communication with chats. I write this with two hands clapping.
Well, by the way, there's your logo and there's your name of your company.
Okay.
That was easy. So I named my company UpBeat Drum Circles because people always told me, you're so upbeat. It's like, oh, well, I'll just name my company that. Sometimes it's just so low-hanging fruit and obvious. So that homework for everybody to take this next step is to familiarize yourself in the field of your target. What is the buzzwords now? Because they're always changing. So I always keep a buzzword grid and I write these words down. I also get these magazines that are free at the health food store. And I don't read them for the content. I'm reading them for the advertisements. And I'm looking at the titles. And I can just scan through it. And I can sort of see the look, the advertisement. I don't have an advertising budget, so I can just steal it from them. And then I can see what are the topics? What is the language? So Nancy asked, what if your target population is changing? Great question, right? So the answer is, like I said to Mark, you go to the yoga studio, you subscribe to the yoga journal, you have to learn about your new target population. Everybody learns different. So that's why I don't like to ever in this class be too formulaic, So some people like to watch a TED Talk about it. Some people like to go to a networking event. Some people like to, what other ways you can learn about a new target population? A conference, that's how I like to go. I love to go to conferences. I feel like I network, I meet people, I go through the exhibit halls, I learn all about the field. In 2 days, I come home with like, whew, I got it. Yeah, trying to figure out your target population, that's a step. I like to say that you choose the place where your skills and gifts help resolve a need. It's okay if your population is broad, you guys. Sometimes it's better, okay, I'll repeat that. Your population is where your skills and gifts solve a need that group has. So the yoga studios, they have a lot of, movement protocols, but they don't have a lot of free creativity, right? That's what a drum circle brings. So you have to think about what they're missing that you bring them. It's okay to have a broad target when you're beginning. So I think about it as a tree made many, many branches. When you're beginning, you just say yes to everything, right? Okay, I'm starting to learn to prune. Okay, I'm pruning now. I don't really think I like working with children. So you start to prune. It's okay when you're beginning to have a wide reach. So let's do the practice. So you're each gonna have 2 minutes and one of you should have a cell phone that you can time. because we tend to talk beyond 2 minutes. This is called the elevator speech. So we're just gonna get into a chat room with another person and give them your elevator speech. Start with the benefits. What I do is blank because it helps people blank. And then about you. So just want you to practice the benefits first and then you. Don't go into describing what you do. Because we all do that forever. We'd love to tell everybody about the soul collage. I use the most incredible glue. I have found that the 8.5 by 11 is not sufficient in my programs. We work with 9.5 by 13. Nobody cares, right? That Mark's gonna say, I bring 20 djembes. What's a djembe, right? So we want to start with the benefit and then introduce yourself. Earn the right. Tell them your highest credential first with a background in blank or after 20 years. All those digital auditory communication is a big buzzword. When I say I've been in this field for over 20 years, people are like, wow, okay, credibility, right? So credibility, tell who you are, let's go practice. So the Zoom, I'm gonna unmute everyone and the Zoom is going to put you in breakout. Everybody understand the assignment?
What you do.
Okay, let's go. There might be 3 people in the room. Okay. Oh, okay, let me change this. I don't want 3 people in the room. Okay, here we go. Now we got 2 people in the room. Perfect, go.
How do you know who you're in the room?
Automatically gonna dump you in a room along with somebody else. Pretty
So
amazing.
join the.
It's happening, Patricia, you're going. You're going with Carol. Carol has to leave right in 10 minutes, so Carol goes first. Okay, what are you doing here, Mark?
I wasn't able to hear her
Oh, okay.
at all.
Can I put you in another group?
Sure. I wasn't able to say anything.
Who's
We
here?
weren't communicating.
Just a second. Who else is here right now? It says iPad.
Right. I don't know who it is. I saw her, but I couldn't hear her and she couldn't hear me.
Not good. Okay, so Mark, you and I can do this practice.
Oh, thanks.
Go ahead, you go first. Just give it a go.
Okay, my name is Mark Rabin. I am very aware of the amount of stress that most people are under these days. In fact, everyone is under. It's like a pandemic. And after 30 years of being in a very stressful legal field as a court reporter, I decided to leave the field of court reporting in that volume of stress and help other people to reduce their stress from the experience I've had with it through rhythm. The name of my business is beatthestress.com, which will be accomplished through one beat at a time using drums.
Perfect.
Feels a little awkward.
I know, but it was great. It is awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels a little weird and awkward, especially like this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and if I may say, the reason what attracts me to the yoga is after practicing yoga and meditation for 30 years, I have an insight into breath, and I've developed a workshop of using yoga, breath, and drumming to reduce stress one beat at a time. And then I incorporate some health rhythms because of my knowledge and training I had with you in terms of stress reduction, reduces depression, anxiety, burnout, increases immunity.
I like everything and would get rid of one beat at a time. That's cliche.
Yeah, it does sound
Everything
cliche.
else was great. When you started saying, I will say that I did yoga and breath work for 30 years, I would like, again, credibility, high score.
Right, right. And 30 years as a court reporter, I can attest to stress a lot. So,
It is a little weird practicing like this, but let me tell you, it's much better now to get your rap down.
right.
Than being in front of people and like deer in the headlights.
Yeah, right. Right. But I figured that was a good place to start because of the fact I was exposed to stress. I'm familiar with yoga and breath work and meditation, mindfulness, and then to incorporate the drumming because drumming induces meditation and mindfulness and in the presence of the now. A lot of people can't meditate or are not attracted to practicing meditation. It's difficult to sit still and how their minds race, but with drumming, it is the shortcut to that.
Okay, shortcut to meditation. Write that down. Buzzword.
Okay.
And it'll really help your rap, your communication, to just say three things. I incorporate breath work from my 30 years of yoga.
Right.
I include an evidence-based protocol using rhythm that's accessible and fun and engaging. And I like what you just said. It engages the monkey mind and it's a shortcut. Or what did you, shortcut?
Yeah, it's a shortcut. It's an easy way
Shortcut
to meditation.
Shortcut to meditation. That's a great buzzword.
Okay.
Or you might say shortcut to mindfulness because meditation is really like a challenging word to use.
Yeah, I know. I know.
All right, so we're going to all get back in the main room to close. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Here we come, back to the group. Hi. Hi. How was that, you guys?
Great. That's pretty cool.
Good. So take a breath. Just to close us out, I think, did everybody come back? You know how it is. Nope, the breakout rooms are still closing. It takes time for Zoom to close them. Hi, welcome back, everybody. It takes time for Zoom to close the room.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Hello. Okay, now we're back in the main screen. So we all just survived our first breakout room. Oh my gosh, I know. It's like you go into this bardo. You know, like this moment, all of a sudden you appear with another person in another room. It's all kind of weird, right? So I'm a big fan of doing these breakout rooms. I'll do them at every call because you get to know each other. You get to practice things. It might feel uncomfortable. Sometimes I give you an assignment ahead and you can prepare. Today I just threw you into one. But you learn from practice, right? So a couple last ending thoughts is, I like what I wrote in the handout. The simpler it is, the more work went into it. So this is probably the number one why I make this the first session. This is the key, is this whole idea of the benefits in a language that uses a buzzword. That's it. The benefit in a language that uses a buzzword. And then you can tell about yourself. And then you can tell about your tool. But we always start with, what are people needing? What's this bring them? This is hard. And you know what I noticed for myself? I'm uncomfortable talking about myself. Anybody feel that on this practice? Right? It's uncomfortable. So a couple of tips of how I practice this. First of all, I practice it in my iPhone voice memo. I practice this introduction, this elevator speech. I practice it in my iPhone because then I can listen back and go, oh my God, that was terrible. Or, oh my God, that was great. The second tip is you can script this. You can write this out. Once you write it and you know, again, you can edit it by your different audience, but once you write it and hone it, think of the time you've saved. It's like a pair of good black shoes. That is gonna last forever. When I came up with I'm an overeducated drummer, it was like 17 years ago. And it's how I always introduce myself. Because it's just fits, like Jen saying, oh, I just happen to, you know, always say this, a pieno ritmo. Like, oh, there's your great name. Oh yeah, I've got this logo. Okay, there's your logo. Because talk about putting yourself on the path of luck. That was a good example of that. So these are your homework assignments, is to, first of all, please email me your little paragraph of who you are and include your website or any online links. And just a paragraph, you know, why you're taking this course. And secondly, I always include as a free gift during this course, the Great Bio Rewrite. Now, I have found that having a well-spoken bio for yourself changes you. That's the first thing my media coach did, is she wrote my bio. And I was like, that's me? It was just so well written. So I have a real gift at helping people write their bio. We always shoot for under 100 words. So when you're ready, you just send it to me. If you have it on a website, or if you haven't done it yet, don't send it to me yet. Send me something that's pretty clear. It can be over 100 words and I'll help you cut it back. And I just do that over the course of the next 9 months. No rush, or a rush, up to you. Whenever you want, send me your bio, but most urgently, send me your websites and your paragraph about who you are. Post it on the Facebook group so we can all, some of you have already done that, we can all start to learn who's in the group. And that will help me assign you an accountability partner in your time zone, hopefully. All right, any final questions? So we always close with a final sentence of what you're taking with you from today, starting with Italy. Jens.
Inspiring appointment with you. Thank you so much, and all the others. And a pieno ritmo.
A pieno ritmo. That's great. Nancy?
I think a better focus, maybe just a cleaner focus. I don't feel so, I have direction.
Good. Megan?
Time to reimagine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Who is this iPhone? I know I see you.
Oh. Sheila.
Oh yeah, Sheila, of course.
Transforming.
Okay. Liliana?
Buzzwords and also like buzzwords like open new spaces, I imagine, because when you get the correct word, perhaps a new door is opening, and that happens several times, and it's just so beautiful. Yeah, I enjoy so much all the guidelines. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really, that's a good insight, that the buzzword opens up doors. Yeah. And who is it from 970 area code?
This is Sue. I dropped off of my cell phone because of connection issues, and stationary now. And so I think my takeaway is just appreciating the simplicity of the basic approach of what's the problem, what's the need, and what's the benefit.
And who are you?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't know we were doing that. Oh yeah, you wanted me to add that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you that was your takeaway. I appreciate it. Mark.
The importance of buzzwords and my bio, and that this is really possible.
No.
Create something.
Yes. Carol. Oh, what's the benefit? I need to articulate. Good. And who, I don't know who is on iPad. We never figured it out, did we? All right. So that is a wrap.